Welcome back, very intentional fam. And if you're new here, welcome to our safe space. My name is Aaliyah, the very intentional mama, where I am healing intentionally and sharing my journey to encourage you that your healing is possible, your story matters, and you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we are talking about something that actually felt really, really scary because I never thought I would come out of it. So I had my first child, and suddenly I didn't recognize myself anymore. And I'm not just talking about physically, although I definitely was seeing it in the mirror, but I also just lost my joy and my spark. I remember very specifically is I loved cooking. And me and my fiance boyfriend at the time, we were, in our they say that the honeymoon phase never really goes away. And I truly believe that if you are in a relationship, and it's not a rough patch, because there are rough patches in relationships, but I truly believe that the honeymoon phase can last for however long that you and your partner are willing to make it last. But this was like one of our like first honeymoon phases. And I was like cooking anything. Like I was trying different recipes. I was baking. Like I was just doing all the things. And it's like the more and more I got into being a mom, the less that I found joy in cooking. And even more so whenever he hadn't come around yet, but he was in my belly, and I just found like all my energy just depleted. And so I really did. I began to lose the little pieces that made me me, because now all my attention was going towards my child, the unborn child that was still in my stomach, and my significant other, and anything else that, I felt like was helping me, but may have been taking more away from me than actually helping. And I feel like other people around me, I feel like my friends, maybe even family members noticed, but they didn't know how to approach me with the topic, especially because I just knew all there is to know about being a good mom, and can't nobody tell me nothing. We've all been there, maybe. Or maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but very much was I'm going to be the best example of a mom to my child and give her everything that I wasn't given. So, yeah, a lot of people probably felt like they could not talk to me about things because this is the mindset that I had going into motherhood. And so it really affected my friendships, and even more so where my best friend and I, we were living like two totally different lives. And I didn't know how to still be her friend in this new version of myself. And so a lot of things happened, and I wouldn't say like anything bad, but it just got to a place where I didn't know how to talk to her. And so instead of communicating those things, I just kind of let the friendship die. And that one still stings some days, because I'm like, goodness. But I feel like that just goes to show of how much motherhood can change us as women, and how it's this thing that it becomes taboo. Let me not get too ahead of myself, but basically becomes taboo of the things that we feel, to actually talk about them and realize that other people feel these things too. And so it wasn't until my second child, and I can remember, I was like, when this baby gets here, I'm getting out the house. I'm no longer staying in the house anymore. Like, we're going to go do stuff. Like, I cannot continue to be this version of myself who only stays in the house, who cancels plans or denies plans before they're even made, even though no, there's nothing on her calendar. Like, I knew that I couldn't keep going like this, and I needed to rediscover me. And so, in an effort to save you the trouble of all the things that I went through trying to rediscover myself, I want to share with you the three things I did to find myself again, in hopes that it will help you find you again as well. So, one, I gave myself permission to not feel guilty. And that is the most difficult thing, because we already know as moms, mom guilt is this real heavy thing where it's like we know we need to get out and we need to take time for ourselves, but we also don't want to leave our babies, because what if they think mommy's not ever coming back? What if, something happens while I'm gone? Like, our brains as moms just have all these really vivid things that come to us, and we have to tell ourselves that it's going to be okay. I remember speaking to a life coach one time, and it was just like it was It was a hard time for me at that moment because I believe I had just had my son. And so, we had two under two. And I was talking to her in a separate room while the kids were in the room with my fiance. And I remember her saying to me, uh, the kids, they're currently out there with their dad, right? And I was like, yes. And she was like, and they're safe. And she was like, that's what I want you to repeat to yourself anytime you feel those things coming up. I trust that my kids are safe. I know that my kids are safe. I know that their dad has the best interests for them, just like I do, so that I know they are safe. And I just had to keep repeating that to myself. So if you need to repeat mantras to yourself so that you will begin to take care of you, please do so. The next thing was I started saying yes to myself. So saying yes to myself meant actually leaving out of the house. It meant, even this one going back to mom guilt, it meant me not feeling bad for literally taking a shower in the next room over while my child was in a different room. Saying yes to myself meant when I really wanted to go to something, not talking myself out of it because of X, Y, and Z. And so your yes might come in a small form at first. It might just be, you saying yes to going into the other room and closing the door to take 5 minutes for yourself and reminding yourself that this is not something that I should be ashamed of. This is what I need to be able to pour into my child. Even if it's something as small as that, do it. Because once you start giving those small yeses, the bigger yeses will come. The third thing, and I know this one is really, really hard for us, especially for moms who have gone through things, moms who are working to parent their children differently than how they were parented, moms who still have some hidden things inside that, let me speak on for myself. So I know for me, I had a really hard time with this third one because of the fact that I saw the way that other people treated their children. I saw the way that people treated one another. And so for me, I was like, I'm just going to figure it all by myself because I don't want anything happening to my child. But at the same time, by putting up this wall and blocking out the people who don't have good intentions, I also blocked out the people who did. So number 3 is let others in. Allow others to help. And this doesn't mean let them come to your house and spend the whole week and take care of everything. Like, you don't have to go straight out the gate like that. But if somebody is like, hey, I want to take you out, you don't have to pay for anything. Let them. If somebody says, hey, I know that you said that you were running behind and you're trying to figure things out, let me pick up your daughter for you. Let them. And also, please have discernment, okay? This does not mean let the creepy uncle that you've always had some questions about go and, pick up your child. But have that discernment to say, okay, am I not letting this person help because, I know that there's some weird things going on, or am I not letting this person help because I feel like I should have to do everything on my own? And I have to give you a bonus one because this bonus one really took me to the next level, which was I allowed myself to explore what lit me up as a child. So that looked like going back and realizing that I'm actually a good drawer. Like, I always knew I was good at drawing, but I did doodles. So I was like, okay, doodles ain't nothing. But whenever I got back to this love of drawing, I saw, oh my gosh, like you really can draw. And it was so peaceful. Like, there was one day I spent a whole hour during that time drawing. I'll include the drawing somewhere. But getting back to things that really made me happy. Singing, dancing. What else can I think of? Doing things with my hands. I am a very creative person, so I really love to make stuff. So I crocheted for a period of time. I ain't crocheting right now, y'all. Crocheting takes some time. The last thing that I crocheted to completion was a blanket for my son before he was born. But we have to get back to some of these things and allow ourselves to open up so that we can find us again, because we can't do it in isolation. Finding ourselves is not going to happen by us staying to ourselves. Okay, let me say that again. Finding ourselves again is not going to happen if we only continue to stay within ourselves, because we're always in our thoughts. And until our thoughts reflect who God says we are, we're going to keep downing ourselves. And if you have found yourself for it to be really, really hard to not down yourself, to not downplay the things that you've actually felt, that you've actually gone through, but to actually speak life into yourself, I truly encourage you to grab an I am affirmation keychain set where it speaks God's truth right there in the tough moments, so that you don't have to go find a devotional. You don't have to immediately pull out your Bible, although I do suggest that you have a physical copy of a Bible on hand. But you don't have to go and try to pick together what it is that you need, but instead you can just pick up your handy dandy I am affirmation keychain so that you can be encouraged with the word right there in the moment. And we always got our keychains on us, so why not have your I am affirmations with you as well? And so I'm going to leave you with this question of, when's the last time you felt fully like yourself? And I asked this to the mamas in the village, but a little different, where what is something that we missed about ourselves before motherhood? And there were things that I even forgot, like sleeping in. Y'all, but I don't think I've slept in a long time in my life, because I went into the field of teaching, and being in the field of teaching, you wake up anyhow. But being able to wake up and not have to think about making breakfast for an entire family, like, those are some of the things that I miss. Although I am extremely grateful to be in that kitchen and to cook and then see my baby's faces, even the big one. But to see their faces whenever I hand them their plates, it's truly a blessing. But I ain't gonna lie, I miss just waking up and just sitting there as long as I want, until I decide to get up. But if you are still figuring out the last time you fully felt like yourself, just know that I see you, because I've been there. So be sure to comment. I love, love, love to hear from you about what resonated with you from today's video. What things are you still working through? And be sure that you hit the like, subscribe, and share this with another mama who needs the reminder that she's still matters. And make sure that you are on my email list, because every week I share insights and encouragement that I don't share anywhere else. And so it's kind of like you get a more personable side of me and the things that I'm going through on a day-to-day basis. I love you with all my heart, and continue to heal, continue to grow, and I'll catch you in the next video.